Hi everybody, Susie here, and I have Erica today on my channel. She has reached amazing success and it's been phenomenal. So I want her to go through sharing what she's done all through a small $14.99 digital product. All right. And she is like, it's going to blow you guys away. So without saying too much, I want Erica to share this in the interview. Let's go into it. Erica, where are you from and where do you blog?
Sure. So I am from Illinois and I blog at milestonemom.com.
All right. And when did you start that?
I am in my almost fourth year of blogging. So yeah, so it's been a little while.
Yeah. And then what inspired you to start this blog? Why did you, because blogging, it does take some time. You're building a business from scratch. Like what brought you to actually start this whole thing?
Yeah, so I am a certified elementary education teacher. Graduated in showing my age, 2005. And back in the day, it was so hard to get a teaching job. So hard that a couple of the colleges opened up special education endorsements. So I went on to get an endorsement in special education. So I have elementary ed, special education. And I feel like I'm always two steps behind everybody else. So then by the time I'm applying for jobs, everybody else has gotten out of this course, right? And still could not find a teaching job.
Right.
And I had a friend from Easter Seals that worked in the developmental therapy department. And she's like, you need to go on and get your developmental therapy credential. And I'm like, okay, what's that?
Yeah. What is that?
Yeah. So she was my mentor. And I learned what a developmental therapist was. So I went on to get a credential as a pediatric developmental therapist in the early intervention program. So if you don't know what the early intervention program is, every state has one. They're just called something different. And it's a birth to 3 program. So if your child, we see a lot of kiddos. I mean, kiddos that are born premature, born addicted to drugs, they've been in the NICU, DCFS refers them to us, parents refer, pediatricians refer, the health department refers. So any child that is birth to 3 that we think might have a disability or delay, we will come in and assess them. So that's what I do as a developmental therapist. And I will say we do sometimes have parents call and say, I just want to make sure that my child is on track developmentally.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I went through all of that. I had to have my bachelor's to even go through the developmental therapy process. So all along, it was like a journey for me. I had to have one to get the other.
Yeah.
And it's been a decade that I've been working as a developmental therapist. And we are a natural environment, which means that we go into families' homes. And for 10 years, I've been in families' homes with basic speech delays to a mom literally getting a call on the phone that her child has a terminal illness after genetic testing came back.
Oh, man.
And so for 10 years, I have done that. And I realized along the way that a lot of moms don't know about child development.
Yeah.
And that's okay, because unless you study it, why would you know about it, right? So they don't know about child development. And then if they do sense that something's off, they're not really for sure where to reach out.
Yeah.
And then, and this is like the hardest part of all of it is the emotional part.
Yeah.
Like as a mom, you would die for your child, right?
Yeah.
You want to protect them no matter what. And sometimes when your child is diagnosed with autism, sensory processing disorder, Down syndrome, a basic speech delay, like it's out of your hands.
Yeah.
And so I've dealt with that emotional aspect with the parents too. And so 3 years ago, I mean, even before that, it was wearing on my heart. And I was like, what can I do? Like I'm in the homes one-on-one with them, but how can I take this broader?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I'm going to start a blog.
Yeah, you are. So you can help more people.
Yes. So I can reach the world, right?
Yeah.
And so going into it, I wanted to teach parents about child development, like what was typical development, what was atypical development. And going back to what I do as a developmental therapist is I go in and look, I mean, this could be a whole nother video, honestly, Susie, but I go in, let's say the referral comes in and your child maybe isn't walking yet,
Yeah.
right? So we would have a physical therapist come in and also a developmental therapist, which is what I would do.
Yeah.
So you'd have those two people assessing your child. Now, a developmental therapist looks at a child globally, so 5 different areas of development, and I would test them on that. And so I just thought, you know, those 5 areas overwhelm families, you know, and I want them to know like what is typical and atypical development. So created Milestone Mom. I wanted to be that support for families, whether it was a mom coming in just saying, I wonder how many words my child should be saying.
Yeah.
Or, you know, my child's 15 months. They're not walking. Like, what do I do? Like, I wanted to be that place, right?
Yeah.
If you're questioning it, this is what we do.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Or nope, mom, it's okay. You know, these are they're within the typical time frame, and let's, you know, I've got other resources on here, you know, how can I help you out? And so I knew I had something good.
Yes.
I knew it. And I still know it. The problem that I had was, and I never thought blogging would be easy. I think the marketing part of it is like, yes,
Sure.
these moms want it. How do I let them know I'm here?
Yeah. Yeah. That is.
And
the
so
hard
for
part.
years, yeah, I feel like I've just been spinning my wheels.
Yeah. All right. So what happened recently that kind of changed things a little bit? You've been doing this for a while, and then how did you come to this new thing that you discovered?
Yeah. So Susie, I've done it all, right? I even looking back, you know, my husband, like I told you, is my biggest supporter.
That's
And
so awesome.
thank you. I am so down on myself all the time because I'm like, the money I spent on courses, just trying to figure all this out, the money I've spent on VAs, trying to do something for me that maybe I should have like really been razor focused on myself to figure out.
Yeah.
So much money that I have spent. And, you know, he says, it's okay. It's like you're going to a university.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
so awesome.
I know. He's like, this is a business. You know,
Yeah.
how many entrepreneurs do you know start something and fail, start something, fail, start something, fail?
Everybody.
Yeah. So first of all, I need to stop beating myself up about it because I've done everything. You know, you hear, well, I create, my honest, what my heart is in is really reaching those moms, like I told you, that want to come to my site and say, what do I do? But I also create printables. And and they're low cost printables, right? I'm not selling anything that's $99 or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I have had income trickle in, but I don't think I've ever really made over $100. You know, I did the affiliate links.
Yeah.
I hired someone to come in and make sure I had all the green lights in Yoast, which, as you know, it doesn't stop with Yoast, right? SEO is much greater than that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yoast is just a checklist.
It's just a checklist. So many things, Susie, that I've learned along the way. So I feel like I'm checking off all the things, right? Like I think my SEO is good. All these things. I'm creating the products, right? I'm running a freebie with a tripwire.
Yeah.
I really was not hitting social media very hard. Like most of my traffic does come in from Pinterest. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to buy a scheduler and I'm going to be consistent for 4 months. And it worked. I mean, I did increase in followers and stuff, but really what I found was it's more for social proof because I didn't really sell anything. I mean, I didn't make money doing that.
Yeah.
But I am finding my people that way, you know? So I, last November, I attended a VIP workshop with Ruth Sukup.
Okay, awesome.
And I'm telling you, it was a priceless thing because I met my people.
Yeah.
You know, I've been in that community because I started EBA when I first started blogging. And I think what I can say about that is the connections is priceless.
Yeah.
And so there were, I think 12 of us that went to this VIP workshop. It was like a 2-3 day intensive on really how to funnel things, how to make money. And one of her big things was you can't control social media. You can control, pretty much your email list and paying for marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not think I was at the place yet for Facebook ads.
Right.
In fact, they scared the heck out of me.
Yeah.
But going to this, I have found some lifelong friends. Some of us, like myself, weren't making very much. But then I was also in a room with others that were making $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
So there was different ones of us. And now we have this Facebook group. I wouldn't even call it a mastermind. It's just a Facebook group that you go and say, okay, like my Facebook pixel ads purchases are not matching up with my Shopify ones. Like, what do I do?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
in-depth questions like that. Right.
Yeah.
And then, so I put that in the group the other day, and my friend Yvonne, she's like, oh yeah, you just got to put a little bit of code in. I'll send you the thing. So that is priceless. Right.
Yeah.
Well, one of the girls in my group, her name's Jenny. She's from the Relaxed Homeschool.
Mm-hmm.
She's pretty big, so I'm sure some of your listeners have actually heard of her, especially with everybody looking for homeschool stuff.
Exactly.
She has really taken me under her wing, and
that's so
she's
nice.
been a mentor for me. Mm-hmm. And she's doing very well in her business. And I literally just message her when I have a question. She gives me advice. She's been a huge help. So after she came back from the event as well in November, actually it was since November that I started profiting. But like I said, I never got over that $100.
Right.
And I would look at my friends, and I know you're not supposed to compare yourself to someone else's middle. I know. But I did. I kept questioning why.
Yeah.
And so Jenny has a Facebook person that she uses. Her name's Micah. She actually blogs at Home Faith Family.
Okay.
And again, another great connection, because Jenny is pretty much in my niche.
Yeah.
Even though I'm, printables, homeschool, child development kind of thing.
Right.
So when I had asked Micah to start running ads for me, and I've been running ads for a little bit. What I was doing initially was more for, I wanted to make the sale, but it was more to grow my email list.
Yeah.
So we were running an ad. Actually, we were running 2 ads to a freebie, which then leaded into a tripwire. And again, I was selling some of those, but the price point was $7. And I was never getting over that 100. So I'm like, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
Well, she suggested, and I know this is what Jenny does. She said, make a bundle. And she recommended, she's like, I really don't recommend that you go over under $15, because we were going to change it up a little bit, and we were going to start the ad more for conversions or for sales.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different when you set up Facebook ads. So she had already been doing this for Jenny. So I'm assuming she just targeted Jenny's audience, like she does Jenny, what was working.
Yeah.
And so she started running my ads, and honestly, like, it's been game changer.
And so what happened when you started running ads because your Facebook person said no more than, or around $15, right?
Yes.
Or no less. So you charged at $14.99.
I'm at $14.99.
A penny less.
I have, well, it's a 185 page bundle.
Yeah.
I probably could have went up. This pricing thing is just not my thing. I don't know. I did bounce it off Jenny for sure. I don't know. Yeah, I did $14.99. It's a 185 page preschool bundle.
That's awesome.
So yeah, anything you need in there, math, shapes, tracing, pre-writing skills. So that's what my ad's been running to. But if you're okay, can I back up a little bit?
Yeah. Sure. Is the whole story. Yeah.
Because I cannot leave this part out.
Please.
So I started running my ads last Monday.
Yeah.
And I have a screened in front porch on my house. My husband's a contractor. And initially we had a porch on there that was rotting and falling apart. And he ripped the thing down, and it's floor to ceiling screened in porch. And I love being outside, but I hate bugs.
Yeah. I hate them too.
Yeah. So this is like my home away from home. I am always out there, either working, either homeschooling, like we're always using that porch. Well, I also teach at VIP Kid. So I teach English to kids in China, and I've been doing that for wow, 3 years now, I think. Um, so I get up early anyway.
Yeah.
So I get up early and I go outside and I spend time with God. And that's just our thing, right? It's dark.
Yeah.
The world has not woken up yet.
Everything's quiet.
Yeah. All I
Yeah.
hear is birds and crickets singing.
Yeah.
And literally, like, sometimes I'll listen to worship music, but it's a good half hour where it's just me and him and what he created.
Yeah.
And I know Monday, I was just, Susie, I was done. Like, I didn't know what else to do.
Mm-hmm.
Why are these people successful in making money? And I feel like I'm doing all the right things,
Right.
but nothing's happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I remember, like, I was in tears, and it was at that moment I said, God, take it. Be the CEO of my business. Take my business. Do what you will with my business. I don't want it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
yours.
Yeah.
And I also said, if this is my agenda and not yours, then I don't want it.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's one thing with saying take it and not meaning it, but when you feel this peace over you, it just was not mine. I didn't care at that point if it failed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I'm not kidding. Monday afternoon, my sales, I think I had topped $1,000 that day.
Wow.
And so we started running on the 10th. It's now the 19th. I just checked. I'm almost at 10 grand.
Oh my Lord. That is amazing.
Yeah. And that is gross. So that is not with expenses.
Yeah.
However, I have been averaging $1,000 to $2,000 per day.
Wow.
So by the end of the month, I can confidently say that I will be a 5-figure blogger in that short of time, and I owe it all to him. Yep. Honestly, I'm not going to give credit to anybody else.
Oh, I think we should all just ask God for some help for our business.
Yes.
I think we'll take that lesson from here, because it's very true. It's very true. Like, if you try to handle it all yourself, you're trying to control everything. It's like, hey, I'm here for a purpose to serve God. And like, if I need to do this business throughout this life that he gave me, then let him bless it. Otherwise, then I should change my direction. So I love that. That's
absolutely.
Awesome.
And so much has happened. I mean, even since then, like, you know, people talk about like sending out, what do I want to say? Where you question your audience. Oh, surveys. Yeah. To your audience. And I'm like, well, I've got people in here that have signed up for my freebie, but I don't know, my email list was cold and like no one would respond to me. And I still didn't feel like I had my people. You know what I mean? Yeah. I would send out surveys. No one would send anything back. And this has been game changer for me, because I have found my people through this, through running this Facebook ad. I will have parents who will say, oh, well, they'll say, I love your product. Do you have anything for kindergarten? Do you have anything for first grade? So that kind of stuff's in the work. I'm working on a fall bundle.
That's awesome.
But being a developmental therapist, I go a little bit deeper than that, because here's the printable, but like, why are we doing these pages?
Right.
What does that do for your child? You know, I'm working on one that has them place, so it's numbers, right? But it has them place buttons on the numbers.
Yeah.
And part of that is because some kiddos have a hard time with fine motor skills.
Yeah.
So I want parents to know, like, why are we doing this? So even when they email me, like, do you have a kindergarten bundle? I'll say, you know, it's in the making, but what is your child struggling with?
Yeah.
You know, like, what can I create for you?
Oh.
I want to customize it to these people.
Yeah.
Or to these moms. And I found my people. My Facebook group is growing, and I feel like I'm running a business and not just a hobby blog.
Yeah. Because you're focusing on your audience, on what you can do for them. And how you can help them overcome their issues and their problems with creating something that's crazy affordable, putting out all your knowledge there, and serving your audience. Like, that's just, I love these stories where the creator is not charging $1,000, $2,000 for their product, where, like, I get that. I understand the business side of that, but honestly, I love this. I love hearing like this heart that you have for helping other people. And even though your product is $14.99, God is blessing you and your business is growing so well because people are responding so well to that.
Yes. Yes.
That is just awesome.
So, I don't know how many people listening know about ads. I'm still trying to figure it out. So thank goodness for Micah.
Yeah.
I started at $25 per day on Monday, ad spend. And I think we ran that for 2 days. And then, I was at 97 cents cost per purchase at one point.
Wow.
So if you have a $14.99 product, come on, I'm spending what, $13 or whatever, or $14 pretty much even. And so then we upped it to 50, and then it was still crazy. And then so I was talking back and forth to Jenny from the Relaxed Homeschool, who's been doing this for a while, and she's my biggest supporter too, because I'm like, I think I'm gonna up it to 300 per day. And at one time in our meeting, because we meet once a month, she told us how much she was spending in ad spend a day, and I'm like, I will never get to that. Like $25 a day is a lot for me, right?
Yeah, right.
If you times that by a week, like
that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
300 per day is how much is that? Like 10,000 per month?
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Right. So what we're doing is we're like honing in on the day, right? We're not trying to overwhelm ourselves. Like I keep looking at like the whole week amount, and my husband's like, nope, let's take it down today. Like my goal is to make 1,000 a day, which, Susie, I have to say this. Remember when I reached out to you?
Yeah.
And I'm like, kind of telling you my story. We had talked before that. I think it was something about one of your products. And you're like, you know what? When you get to $1,000 a month, call me or text me or whatever.
Text me, we'll do the interview.
I know. And I'm at 1,000 a day average. And sometimes it's a little bit more. But yeah, so 300, we're at 300 a day now.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to learn how it works. I mean, Mike is really watching it for us, but, so yeah, obviously I have to be over $1,000 a day, right? To account for Shopify and PayPal expenses. And then you add your ad spend per day in there.
Right. But so, that's only a couple percentage, right? Shopify and PayPal.
It is. They're taking, so for $14.99, I think they're taking 73 cents out.
Okay.
Both of them. So it's not a lot at all.
Okay.
But that still does add up when you have a lot of sales.
Yeah. So Shopify, on top of paying their monthly payment, they also take some of your profit as well?
Yes.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So I paid I'm at the $29 per month.
Right.
And then, they take 73 cents right now is what it is on a $14.99 product.
I don't like that very much.
Yeah.
But your system's working. You're all good. I'm not a very big fan of Shopify. They are good for awesome things like this, but I use a different funneling system that you pay once and then you're done.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll have to talk about that, because now that I'm growing, I'm looking at different avenues. I've even put some products on my site with WooCommerce, but I don't know.
Can you do bumps with Shopify?
What do you mean bumps?
Like if they're on the checkout page, there's a little checkbox like, hey, add this, add the kindergarten bundle.
Yeah, you might also like this. No, you have to get, they don't have a customized thank you page or an upsell or anything like that. So you have to get some sort of app. So maybe we'll talk after, because I don't know. If
you're doing so well, then if we add a little bit more to it, like that would be awesome.
Sure.
But, wow. So this is phenomenal. It's a $14 e-product. How did you create it? Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah. So I create my products mostly in PowerPoint. And I also have someone who helps me with the design work.
Awesome.
So yeah, she's been a godsend for sure. She does a really good job. So I work on some of it. She works on some of it, and we just package it together. She also does PowerPoint as well.
I love PowerPoint.
I know. Yeah. And people don't think to create printables in there.
They don't. Between Canva and PowerPoint, I like Canva because most people understand it, and I like to teach Canva, but PowerPoint is like the secret weapon because you can do anything with it.
Mm-hmm. And being a teacher, I mean, that's what we were taught on so many years ago.
Yeah.
People can create printables in Canva for sure.
Yeah.
even bundles. But I think they only allow so many. Um,
I think
I don't know what,
100 pages.
maybe.
Yeah, I think there's a limit on the amount of pages, so it's 100.
Yeah. And I knew I was way over. So I don't know. PowerPoint just works. What she's working on, she just sends it to me, and then I package in whatever I'm working on. I package it together and create a zip file and put it in Shopify and do my graphics for my ad. And then Micah usually helps with the description of the ad.
Yeah.
And
And then you run it and then you go. You're like, that's it.
Yeah. And then you say a little prayer and cross your fingers and
Oh my gosh. Okay. So how do you feel now? You're almost grossing, or sometimes more, 1,000 a day from a very super duper helpful printable product for preschool kids. So anybody who's watching, guys, if you need that, we will put a link below to Erica's product so you guys can check it out too. Obviously, super affordable. How does this make you feel? What does your family think about this?
Well, we're not shouting it from the rooftop, so like we haven't told the kids or anything. My husband's my biggest supporter, and he, like, all week he keeps saying, and he's a numbers guy, and he's never really helped with my business.
Yeah.
But he started deep diving into this. He's like, babe, like, we could really keep doing something with this, So he's like looking at my numbers and trying to figure it out, and which is fine because I'm not good with math or numbers. So he's my biggest supporter, and all week he keeps saying, babe, you made it. Oh. I know. And I'm telling you, Susie, I just feel numb. Like I don't feel any different.
Yeah.
Okay. If people really think like they got $10,000 in the bank in a week, like God knew where my heart was. Okay. This is for his purpose, not mine.
Yeah.
And I really think that's why he's blessed me. So it's not going to change who I am.
Yeah.
I really don't feel different.
Yeah.
I know people are wanting to hear something different, but that's the truth. Like
it's strange, isn't it? Like I've hit some big numbers and I'm like, nothing changed. Nope. Yeah. I feel happy that I'm helping more people and more people are getting into my courses and my products. And I feel happy about that. But like the money, it doesn't seem real. It doesn't it doesn't change anything. It just makes me want to help more people.
Yes. And that's where I'm at. I'm just like, bring me more people, because that's why I started this in the first place.
Yeah.
I want to help those moms that are struggling with kiddos that have speech delays, and maybe a mom who found out that her child has a terminal illness, and is only going to live, statistically till the age of 10. Like,
oh man,
money aside, like that does not matter compared to people that I'm going to reach,
right.
Right. And, yeah, it's such a blessing. We're going to be able to get out of some debt. My husband is a contractor, and we bought our first investment property a couple of years ago.
Oh, good.
That he can work on all by himself. Our goal eventually is for him to quit his job so he can work on that full time. And he's a godly man, and he wants to go in and he wants to rip out all this stuff and build it new for people, and just, be that really good landlord for them and business owner. And, now we can do some of those things.
That's awesome. I can see your heart is in such the right place, and your husband too. And that just like knowing that your husband is supporting you is so powerful. It's so helpful when husband and wife are on the same team and you guys are working on this together. It's a big blessing.
It really is.
So as we wrap this up, what advice would you have for moms that might be watching this, that are starting their blogs and they're kind of stuck and they don't know where to go? What advice do you have for them?
Yeah, I would say just keep going. I mean, perseverance is the key. That's what makes some bloggers successful and some not, is because there were so many stopping points for me. There's 2 times in my blogging career that I almost gave up. And I will tell you, the second time I was more frustrated, because at the end of last year, I had worked full time. So I'm a developmental therapist, and I still work private practice doing that, but I was also a service coordinator. And if anybody listening to this knows about early intervention, the service coordinator is the one that comes in and gets everything started, right? So the referral comes to me, I get, the developmental therapist in there, the speech therapist, occupational, whatever. And I work very closely with the family to get those services set up for them. So that's what I did for 5 years.
Wow.
DT for 10, service coordinator for 5. And what was I saying?
What inspiration do you have for other moms?
Oh, yes.
That's okay.
Susie, there's so much going on in my mind. So I was, what was I saying about that though, Susie?
Don't give up. You're going to there's times that you want to give up on your blog. 2 times. It's okay.
You can edit this out.
Yeah. Perseverance is key is what we got from that.
Oh, what was I saying about the DT part though? Or the service coordinator?
I don't know. We went off into that tangent and then we're trying to find our way back now.
Okay, hold on. Maybe it'll come to. What was I seriously just drew a blank. Okay. Maybe I wasn't supposed to talk about that. Don't give up.
You might be thinking like, okay, well, my ads, how much am I spending today? You might be in the back of your mind.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, don't give up.
Don't give up. Create a small product. Do you suggest bloggers should create small products and start testing them out?
Yeah, I think that would be the best place to start, because in the beginning, I was trying to do all the things.
Yeah.
And it really came down to just being razor focused on this one thing. Yeah. And I know especially beginning bloggers are probably thinking, I'm not ready for ads yet. And that might be the case. I mean, I know, Susie, you have a course or a couple courses, right? Like I would totally follow that first, right? And get your posts in there and get that foundation set really before you start doing anything. But just remember that you don't need to create $1,000 product to make it happen. Yeah. Do what you're passionate about, create a product around that. And, I had the product for a while, but like I said, it's the marketing, it's getting the people to it. Yeah. And so if you're newly, a new blogger and able to do something like that, then start at $25 per day. I think I got blessed because I found Micah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what I would do if I had to go through an ads course and try and figure this out myself.
It's a lot.
It is a lot. So if you can find someone that can help you that's reasonably priced, or maybe even that first investment. I told you I invested in so many different products. Yeah. Maybe that first investment for you really is an ads course, right? A really good one. And you just focus on that for 6 months until you get it there. Because once it takes off, it does its own thing.
Then you have the skills, and then you know how to create the product, get the people to the product. And then that's pretty much what business is.
Yes, absolutely.
That is awesome. So Erica, this has been so fantastic. Again, where can my mommies and my audience find you, and then get that product that you have as well?
Yeah. So we're going to leave a link to the product in the comment section. Yeah. But I do blog at milestonemom.com. And then Susie, I think you're also going to put a link in for my Facebook group. Yep. My page is growing, but I'm trying to get people into my group because we're going to be doing fun things in there. I'll be talking about things in there regarding child development and some of my printables that I won't be talking about on my page. So
awesome. Thank you so much, Erica. I will leave the links to your blog, your product, and your group so people can check that out. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.